Have you heard of the decline now movement for dashers out there? Door dashing. People are just pissed off. They're tired of the low wages. They're tired of the low offers. They're tired of all the bullshit. It's a big Facebook group, about 20 something thousand members. Basically a cabal of dashers that are basically organized. They're organizing themselves so they can decline any orders that are deemed low ball offers. And if you check the YouTube, a lot of the big gig economy personalities or influencers, what we want to call it, YouTubers, they're all basically championing this effort. They're like, this is great, fantastic, right? This is basically what we need. We need to organize to get DoorDash to give people more money, increase those offers. These offers are bullshit. We have to fight the man, fight the power, right? That's basically the whole crux of it. And I guess the question is, will this work? Will this actually do anything? In my opinion, it will not. Why? Let's get into it. Vice.com wrote a story about the Decline Now movement, and we're just gonna read a little bit about what the Facebook group's about and what they're trying to do. So let's read about what the page is about, right? The fundamental principles of the official Decline Now movement rely upon all drivers in the movement to exercise their right to use the decline button to decline lowball offers for higher, more feasible ones. And this is a pinned post on the Facebook group. I have not joined the Facebook group. Let's read a little bit more. Declining lowball offers forces the algorithm to raise the payment up to the decline offer for the next driver as the need for DoorDash to service the order increases. In turn, dashers will see an increase in higher paying offers, many times doing less deliveries for more money and a much paid rate per mile. So the Decline Now strategy has a couple of moving parts. One part involves a relatively simple Android-only application called Driver's Utility Helper. Basically, they're able to calculate if the order is worth accepting or not. I don't have Android. Anyway. And another part involve a DoorDash platform itself and using cheap Android phones. And I guess the whole idea is this app, and there's also the older Android phones with the DoorDash app. You are able to see the hidden tip because DoorDash knows how much the tip is. They're not going to tell you until you complete the delivery. That's when you actually press complete delivery, and then you see the tip. And the older Android and the driver utility app tools, you are able to get the best offers for you to take. The Decline Now drivers say they're in a better position to selectively accept orders and ensure that they earn the most money. I don't think this necessarily is going to change anything with DoorDash or any of the gig e-com companies, because a lot of this people were already doing. So that's why the first reason many of your more seasoned pros that are doing this, doing DoorDash, already do a lot of this. They may not have the old Android apps like I don't. Like I just joined DoorDash about 2 weeks ago. I've been more of an Uber Eats guy, but they basically are the same thing, right? There's little changes here and there, and I'll probably post up kind of which one I feel is the better one of the two. But it all depends on the market, and if you have any self-worth, you have to decline offers. It doesn't make any sense. So this idea that we need a movement, I mean, we just make sure we need to spread information around. And it's interesting about this Decline Now movement. If you go in that group and you talk about being a top dasher, they will kick you out the group. They don't want any semblance, any talk about being a top dasher. Being a top dasher apparently is an enemy of the movement. So it kind of sounds kind of culty, because why we can't include all information, everyone with different ideas, and talk about it. What works for one person may not work for the other. So this weird kind of cult-ish, well, if you don't follow us, then get the fuck out. But I'm sure that there may be people who are top dashers in certain markets who are making a lot of money. The idea that these people don't want to hear from opposing views is the reason why they're probably in the situation that they're in the first place. So that's the first weird kind of problem I have with the Decline Now movement. I want as much different opinions and perspectives in my life compared to just being in one group where we all complain about how we're not making enough money and blah, 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 blah. Second, people are already doing declines. If you already, like I said, if you're already making good money on these platforms, you're not taking every order because it doesn't make any sense, right? You are declining $3 offers. It's not worth it. I don't take any. Sometimes in my market, I'm in New York City. If it's not $10 or near $10, I don't take it. But that's just my market. You have to know what's the highest in your market and take it, go from there. So that's one of the things that I think most people who actually know what they're doing. And then the second reason why this is not going to work is because we still have oversaturation. There's too many drivers out there. There's too many Dashers out there. So the leverage is always going to be with the DoorDash company. That's what the thing that people don't understand about business, about the economy. We're still in a place where there are many people who are out of work. So there's a flood of drivers. So DoorDash does not have to give you a lot of money to go and get the food because there's always someone desperate enough to take the low offer. And we're in a situation where there's going to be a lot of people coming into the country, undocumented. What do you think that one of the first jobs they're able to take? DoorDash or Uber Eats or Grubhub. So if they came from an environment where they made no money, when they see a $3 offer to deliver someone chicken McNuggets, they're gonna be like, oh fuck yeah, I'm gonna take it. And don't understand because their perspective is different from first world problems. Of course you would say, that's not worth my time. And it's not. Think about it as a business owner. And that's another reason why I think the decline now move is not gonna work. Most people don't understand what being a business owner is. They don't understand being an independent contractor. They're just stuck in an employee mindset of thinking, well, I should get this amount of much money every time I do something. And if you have that mentality, you should just go find a 9-to-5 job. Just get out of the game. And I understand things are really rough right now, so I know I sound like a bit of a dickhead, but hopefully when things get a little bit back to normal, find a 9-to-5 job. Because most people can't handle their income fluctuating. When things are great and people want to post their big giant tips and how much money they made in a week, it's all fun and games. It's funny thing about capitalism. People love it when it's working for them, but when it's not working for them, it's the greedy companies, the greedy blah blah blah. Like, how terrible DoorDash is. Like, well, hold on a second. DoorDash was great 2 years ago or a year ago when most of these YouTubers who are complaining right now were loving it last year or a year before when they were getting those, when they were throwing those referrals in your face about signing up to DoorDash because they were getting money in the back end. So these people were making thousands of dollars on DoorDash, and now as the saturation came up, the economy's in the toilet. Now it's a problem, and we must fight the power. We must fight the man. Well, you didn't fight the man when you were throwing those referrals at everyone. Another reason why the decline now movement will not work is because our job, and I'm including myself because I use Uber Eats, I use DoorDash. Now, I've been using it since July or August of last year. So, it's February now, so most likely I'll probably be doing this throughout the next year or throughout this year. And the one thing that I don't think a lot of Dashers I guess we'll talk about Dashers at this moment. Most Dashers don't understand is this is a pretty low-skilled job. It's the easiest job you can do. Let me repeat that. It's a low-skilled job. I know many people think that you should just make $30 an hour delivering chicken McNuggets, but just think about how easy it is to pick up your phone, go to the address, pick up food, go to someone's house, either give it to them, hand it to them, or put it at the door. How much money should you get for that simple job, right? I mean, my son is 7, right? By the time he's 16, and if whatever state he may be in at a time, he can get a license, and if you're allowed to, he can do that job. Actually, a 12-year-old can do this job. So this idea that, well, I deserve to make more money, like, do you? It's the easiest job to do. It doesn't take a lot of energy. It doesn't take a lot of brain power. So how much money should you be making? It just seems like people just they kind of lost that idea and they're like, I deserve to make that money. Like, yeah, but you have no skills other than driving, ride a bike or walking. pick up, read. As long as you can read somewhat. And if you see a lot of customers who complain, some Dashers can't read. They'd say, hey, call before you leave the food on the table or leave the food on the door. People can't do that. You know, I've written in instructions for Instacart or DoorDash to do this specific thing, and it can't get done. And I know this sounds like a lot of, like I'm trolling and just a lot of tough love, but you have to be realistic about our position. Have some level of self-awareness. If I was in a market and I kept seeing $2-3 offers, I will just not do it anymore. If things are that bad with these apps and you're not getting the offers that you think you deserve, then you gotta find another way to make money. And you gotta figure it out. You're an adult. You have the power to not do this idea where the Dashers are just giving us slave wages. First of all, it's funny when a person talks to a black guy talking about slave wages. Like, well, first of all, slavery didn't get paid. Like, it's not the same. And the slave couldn't stop doing it. So it's like, so saying slave wages for dashing is like, well, first of all, if there was slavery and you had to dash, right? The slave had to dash. They couldn't say, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. They had to keep doing it, and they weren't getting any money. So it's like a little bit overly dramatic. You YouTubers are doing it for views. So be very, very, like, they're frustrated, sure, I'm not saying they're lying, but they know when they complain about lack of money, they get more views. When they say we have to fight the power, a lot of that, it's about the views, because a lot of your top gig economy YouTubers are getting some kind of ad revenue from YouTube. So just be cognizant of that, right? It's kind of similar from the media when you watch TV, and you see people constantly talking about politics in terms of being super left or super right. They know that as long as they stay with that framework of fear, anger, you're being taken advantage of, blah, 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 the views will come up, the ad revenue will be there, and they'll make more money. So just be cognizant of that, right? Uber is evil, DoorDash is evil, but they continue to work for the company. It's like, okay, sure. So be cognizant of that. But also, and considering that DoorDash was not profitable last year, so that, you know, so even this idea like, well, all DoorDash offers should be at a maximum of $5. But they were not profitable before that when they were doing that. They weren't. So the idea of trying to get profitability, they're not gonna give Dashers more money unless you're a top Dasher, probably. They want you to take every garbage order. I won't, and if you don't, good. But the other person that does, leave them alone. Who cares? Let them do it. I don't care. That's all I have to say about this one. I know it's kind of more of like a tough love, but you know, the reason why I just don't think the decline now movement is worth anything, because I think if you already know what you're doing with these apps, you're already declining low offers anyway. It's oversaturated market. Nothing's going to change anytime soon unless the economy picks up and people will stop doing these apps and leave it for the rest of us. If who else is entertaining to continue to do this, you know, throughout, you know, next year and year after that and year after that. Third, it's a very low skilled job. You should not depend on your livelihood for the future in terms of 5 years from now doing this apps. I think it's a mistake. And it gets especially now during these times, you should be multi-apping anyway. Multi-apping is basically paramount. If you want to actually make a livable wage, doing one app is a death sentence. It's dumb, terrible idea. Just don't do that. So, and I think that this channel will be dedicated to give you some tough love, because it's a little bit too much crying and bitching and moaning, and there's tons of channels that are already doing that. So this is gonna be my approach to it. And you know, if you like it, great. Like, subscribe. If you don't, then you weren't here the whole video anyway. So whatever. See you next time.